A very warm welcome back to your latest industry news, from updates surrounding Emirates and the Airbus A350 to Fiji Airways expanding its network. And lastly, there's updates on Airbus Deliveries. It's going to be a busy one. Let me not waste any more of your time, beginning with Emirates, who have been forced to delay the entry into service of their Airbus A350-900 by 1 month through a schedule update revealed by aeroroutes.com, a very reputable source for flight data news. The schedule adjustment changes the three first services that were initially slated to welcome the next generation plane. In May, you may recall the airline was gearing up for first delivery of the A350 and did announce several destinations that could expect this brand new plane before anyone else. And it was exciting times, but there was probably still a little bit of question mark surrounding whether or not the aircraft would arrive on time. And as part of those initial expectations, Emirates believed that the plane would enter service by September of 2024, or now next month, with Bahrain slated to receive the aircraft daily from September 15, and then on September 16, the airline would commence flights with the A350 to Kuwait. Europe was expected to welcome the plane starting in November, with Edinburgh revealed among the initial locations, Lyon included as well for December. However, there have been several delays, with the aircraft now expected to be deployed in December of this year for the very first time, and that will come through flights to Edinburgh from the 2nd of that month. Kuwait and Bahrain, that were two other cities initially meant to see the A350, will get the plane from January 1 as part of the revision. That's January 1 next year, to clarify. These won't be the only locations on the same day, with Mumbai and further cities in India. Emirates expects the A350 to act as a game changer for their fleet long into the future, something they've not been by any means afraid to admit. They believe the aircraft has been carefully selected so as not to burden their current fleet composition, but rather enhance it. Emirates has expressed considerable levels of excitement for the arrival of the A350, equally some frustrations, but focusing more in on the positives. The airline believes that the capabilities of the plane are really going to be impressive in allowing it to reach new markets, while pressures will be eased on existing fleet types. Over to the next story, and Fiji Airways has announced plans to enhance its network to the United States, with the final confirmation of non-stop flights between Nadi and Dallas-Fort Worth in Texas arriving. The route is expected to commence now on the 10th of December this year, and it will be the airline's first connection between the two locations. And again, I'll emphasize enhancing travel to the States. The flight will be 13 hours, is expected to also fly thrice weekly, with the service jetting off on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, with, unsurprisingly, the A350-900. This Airbus widebody has truly been instrumental in allowing this company to operate into larger markets than previously expected, and I can't state that enough. In fact, now through almost every release and new route, the company highlights just how much it loves the A350 and how beneficial it has been for them. They configure this plane into a 2-class with 301 seats in economy, and there are 33 right up the front in business class. Fiji labels the route as exciting, but were they ever going to label it something different? They're really focusing in on enhancing their commitment towards the United States, where they see a lot, and I mean a lot, of potential. And by launching flights between their home in Nadi to Dallas, it's going to provide greater connectivity options for existing but also prospective customers. Once flights commence in the second week of December, the destination will become the 24th on the international network and the 5th into North America as part of a focus on the region. While the route launch still does remain subject to government regulatory approvals in the US, Fiji Airways already flies to Los Angeles, Honolulu, Vancouver, and San Francisco. And these markets have been really important, not just in boosting travel onwards throughout the Pacific, but just to their home as well of Fiji. Flying to Dallas will allow customers to link up with the initiatives already announced through the airline, because remember, it'll become the 15th full member of the One World Alliance in 2025, and what better time than to launch flights? Yes, I'm focusing in on American Airlines, which utilizes Dallas-Fort Worth in Texas as a base. So what can come from that? Well, connectivity is highlighted, with options to travel to locations that are not able to be served by Fiji Airways on an American Airlines aircraft. Yes, that could be throughout North America to smaller cities, or even to Europe. Remember, Fiji Airways is unable to make that distance, so they can facilitate that kind of travel with partner airlines. Once this route commences, the route should bring in about 1,000 people each week to the nation to boost their tourism. On to the final story, and it sits with Airbus, who have reported their July orders and deliveries. Really a strong month, with the European plane maker delivering 77 commercial airplanes, 12 more than the same month 1 year prior, and this actually has been their best month of the year. Thanks to this, they've now reached more than 400 deliveries across their commercial airplanes division this year, and that is a 5% increase. Despite some struggles across supply chains and delays in delivering key aircraft to customers, Airbus is working through the backlog and still enjoying some pretty solid numbers. For the remaining months of the calendar year, which are typically some of the stronger performing ones, Airbus has outlined a goal to hit 770 deliveries for the full year. A target of 770, however, represents a revision of 30 units that occurred in recent months. Yes, that's right, because last year, they said 2024, they wanted to hit 800 planes, representing a rise on a target for 2023 of 720. However, plans to hit this target were always going to initially be deemed pretty ambitious, but Airbus backed themselves. But as each month progressed, they did understand that reaching this target would likely not be possible, and they were forced to revise the goal. Even with that revision I speak of, and incredibly successful months such as what occurred last time around, they don't feel that 800 is realistic, but they're going to try and build upon that success to hit their end goal. Unsurprisingly, July's most successful aircraft type in terms of deliveries was the A321neo with 32 units. That followed by the A320neo base model with 24. The A321neo family has become a really favourable single-aisle type in the market today, and Airbus's enhancements have made it a true game-changer with the upcoming A321XLR. Airlines are absolutely lapping it up, and we're seeing the orders come through and the backlog grow quite considerably. That'll conclude today's aviation news recap. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. Take care, and I'll see you tomorrow for your latest update.
And we'll fly.